Hey guys, what's up? It is Josh Thomas here with Fanshare Sports. Course preview for the Tour Championship at East Lake Golf Club, the last event of the 2018-2019 season. And then we get a really long off season. I think all of 3 weeks, and we're back at it for the Greenbrier over there in West Virginia. So this is the finale of the 2018-2019 season. We have 30 players teeing it up, trying to win the Tour Championship. We have a new format this year, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. That's going to really throw some kinks into your GPP lineup building or cash lineup building, whatever. Just in DraftKings and FanDuel scoring in general this week, it's going to be a little bit different, and we'll cover that, and we'll talk about why ownership I think is really, really, really important this week, maybe even more than any other week. So I'm excited. I think there's definitely an edge there. I think using ownership is one way to do that. So we'll get to that in a second here. First, just want to talk a little bit our free roll winners. So NYC Sour Diesel and Steve B 1164 were the two free roll winners in the Fanshare free roll contest this week. So those two are gonna go up against two other guys from the previous week in a four-man this week at the Tour Championship for a free NFL Pro subscription to Fanshare Sports. So that NFL Pro subscription gets you all of the locked-up content. You get your ownership projections, podcast, articles, prop bets, everything that you can imagine. We have it here for you at Fanshare Sports. If you weren't lucky enough to be one of those four guys in that contest this week, you can use that promo code JOSH for 20% off any subscription. The pricing, $99 for this season in NFL. That is going to go up at the end of August. So you need to sign up for a Fanshare Pro membership now. Get in, use that promo code JOSH, get 20% off of that. Get that before we flip the calendar over to September, because in September that price is going to go up. So you need to get in now if you're getting ready for the 2019 NFL season. And I definitely am. I'm excited. I've been playing preseason DFS, using some of those scrubs, trying to fine tune my game a little bit as we get in here to the regular season. So again, get in, use that promo code Josh for 20% off. This week, We'll talk about the course first, and then we'll get into some of the strategy and how they're setting things up with the scoring and things like that. So we get a base knowledge of the course, and then we'll go in and say, okay, now we know this is the type of golfer that will be successful here. The way they're scoring that, how is that going to change kind of what we do? So East Lake Golf Club is in Atlanta, Georgia. They've hosted this event, I believe, every year since 2005. It was on like an alternating year basis with a course in Texas, but East Lake, Atlanta, Georgia, Bobby Jones, kind of his home club. It's a par 70, 7,346 yards. We have Bermuda greens, which will be a switch. We've been on Benton for a little while now. Beautiful Zoysia fairways, which I really think every course in the world should, if they're going to redo their course, they should be switching to Zoysia. The ball bounces, it's springy, you get perfect lies in the fairway no matter where you are. So love the Zoysia fairway here, and I know the guys do too. And then the rough is very thick Bermuda rough. The thing about Bermuda rough is you never really get a good lie, okay? So when the ball is sitting there, it might be sitting down, it might be sitting up, but even if it's sitting up, you're not really sure what the ball is going to do coming out of there. It's very squirrely. So it's a difficult rough to play in. I think the longer iron shots with it aren't as difficult, but as we get around the greens, and we have smaller than average size greens here, so that around the green game coming out of the squirrely Bermuda rough is going to be very difficult. It's a Donald Ross design. Reese Jones has actually gone through twice now and redone it. I believe it was like 94 he restored it. And then 2004, I believe 10 years later, went back and did some more changes. Really just he restored it in 94 to kind of that original Donald Ross, hey, the course is in front of you, this is what it is, the bunkering, things like that. And then in 2004, he lengthened it. And it's actually they actually continue to lengthen it by adding a few tee boxes and teeing areas as we go here. So it went from like a 6,800 yard original Donald Ross design, now a 7,346 yard design that's a par 70. Okay, that is a long par 70. That's one of the longer par 70s that they play. So what that does is it tends to keep the scoring down a little bit here, unless you're Zach Johnson in 2007, who shot a 60, which is an incredible score around here. Now, we might see that again this week. We watched last week at Medina. I really thought that the winning score was going to be around 13, 14 under, and what did JT went out and shot 25. There was tons of guys at 16, 17, 18. Hideki Matsuyama shot two just incredible rounds. So maybe we see it here. Traditionally, though, the winning score here is about 10.75 under par. So that's Tiger at 11, last year with that incredible win. We had the crowd coming up 18 there. Xander, 12, Rory, 12, Spieth, 9, Horschel, 11, Stenson, 13, Sneds, 10. Billy Haas, if you guys remember that shot out of the water with the ball in the water, he chipped it back onto the green, made par, and went on to win at 8 under. So we see some it doesn't appear that we're going to get a 20 under winner this week. Now, that being said, we might actually see a deeper score just because of the way guys are starting this week. So like we talked a little bit about earlier, that they're going to change the scoring this week, and I'm going to dive into it later, but since we're talking about it now, Justin Thomas is number 1 in the FedEx Cup rankings. He's going to start the tournament at 10 under. All right. Cantlay is second. He will start the tournament at 8 under, and it's just going to go down like that all the way to the bottom group of guys. The 25 through 30 are going to start at even. So JT obviously has a pretty big advantage this week. He's starting at 10 under. So, we could see the winning score at, 20, right? If JT shoots 10 under for the week, which is, pretty a standard winning score here, he could be at, 10 under by the end of the week. So that's a little bit tricky. We're going to talk a little bit about it here in a second, but more on the course. So like I said, 7, 3, 4, 6, we have 0 short par 3s. Almost all the par 3s are over 200 yards. They have one at 197, but it can play over 200 yards. 2 short par 4s, 4 medium par 4s, 6 long par 4s, right? With this sort of range of par 4s, what we do see at this course is an increased approach shot yardage of 200 and plus. So you're going to see lots of long irons into these small greens. Long irons into small greens. What's going to happen, right? The green regulation percentage is going to go down. All right. And when that happens, now we're seeing a lot of guys having to scramble and play from the rough, right? So a guy like, leading the tour and scrambling this year, I think is Patrick Cantlay. Obviously, he's in a good position. He's second, in the FedEx Cup right now, but he, that being able to scramble around these greens and get up and down for par is going to be huge. Let's go back here. We look back at the winners here. We got lots of, guys who are excellent scramblers, right? Tiger, great scrambler. Spieth, maybe the best. Okay, Sneds, great short game. Billy Haas, good short game when he's, gosh, man, I remember when Billy was good? Man, it was like an every week thing. Long par 5, short par 5, right? We see very few, it's a par 70, so we only have 2, so we have a really low eagle percentage rate here. The par 5 on the front, we will see some eagles on this week, but the par 5 on the back, that 590 18th, not going to see very many eagles, but it does have a decently high birdie rate. We look at the average scores here, average score, negative 0.38. Ranked 22 in my course database, not bad. A little bit below scoring average, so 10, 11, that seems to be kind of that sweet spot. Low, decent eagle percentage. Birdie rate though is pretty high. We see lots of birdies, we see a decent amount of bogeys, and we see a below average amount of pars here. So we're gonna have colorful cards. Okay, the one thing that we don't see a lot of here, which is actually kind of surprising, is the double bogey percentage. We're not gonna see a lot of double bogeys as compared to an average tour event. As we look at kind of the hole by hole here, we'll talk about each hole. First hole, 469 yard par 4, pretty standard par 4, plays 0.2 over, which is above average. Not a lot of birdies, so a tough opening hole. There is a decent amount of bogeys on this hole. So, and the one of the holes on the course that you do see some double bogeys, it is a difficult start to your event. It's not a fun hole to start on by any means, but we kind of get into it here, and then we'll guys can start to build momentum as they roll through. We have 197 yards, the shortest par 3 on the course. It played to average last year. Then we get a short par 4, 391 yards. As it's short, we do see a pretty high percentage of birdies. So 24% of the players are finding birdie here. Nobody's double bogey in this hole, right? So when you see that big 0 there, right, we're seeing that it's a fairly easy hole to play. Another par 4 at 479, long par 4. This is one of those holes that you're going to have that 200 plus yard approach shot in just because of the way it's routed. Plays a little bit over par, not a lot of birdies. A difficult hole. Then we bump back to a par 4 that's plays a little bit under par. So this is one that again, the one thing that I think we'll see this week is you look kind of over here at the average score to par. We're not going to see a lot of streaks, right? So that those 5 bonus points for streaks, which I think can be pretty big, we're not going to see as many this week as we do at a normal tour event. We have the easy par 5 in the front here, the 6th. 58% of the players birdie that, 5% or just under 6% eagle. That makes it a pretty easy par 5, right? Plays 0.65 under par. We're not seeing guys make big numbers here. Again, there is some water on this course, but there's not a ton. And then you get that stroke. Now you go to 7 and hope that you don't give one back, right? Only 12% of the players birdied 7. It's 481 yards. Again, another long par 4 that's going to have you hitting a long iron in, right? You hit the green here. You're going to have a chance at birdie, right? Like I said, the complexes aren't that difficult, but you miss the green. You're praying for par. You might end up with bogey. We're gonna see on Shot Tracker this week, if you're following along, guys try to chip it and not even make it on the green, right? Because they might have had a funky lie in the rough there. Hole number 8, 455, again played even harder than 7, right? Big doubles a possibility here, and then you come into 9 and you're just hoping you don't make 3 bogeys in a row here sometimes, right? 235 long hole. The guys just I was surprised last week at Medina, that 245 yard par 3, they tore it up. In the final group yesterday, it was Cantlay, Thomas, and Finau. They all stuck it to within like 10 feet. And obviously my boy Tony Finau missed his putt, but Cantlay and Thomas both dropped it. So you go in the pressure. You have a 245 yard par 3, and you're crushing it to 10 feet and dropping the putt. Like, these guys are good. As we make the turn, now things start to get a little bit easier. Okay, hole number 10 played under par, a short par 4. Guys will have a flip wedge in here. So when we look at the approach numbers, it seems like lately that 125 to 175 has been kind of the sweet spot each week, right? Well, this week we actually see that come below average, okay? And we see guys hitting more shots from 100 to 125 and over 200 yards. So that middle range that guys have been crushing lately, hasn't quite. It isn't what we see here. We see those long approach shots and we see these flip wedges, okay? Par 11th, 214 yard par 3, a long par 3. This had the least amount of birdies on it on the course in our database. I think it goes back 5 years. Then we get to hole number 12, another short par 4, right? These under 400 yard par 4s. We're thinking birdie, but we got obviously some difficult bunkering, water, things like that. Sorry, I needed my Coke Zero today. My kids have been crazy all morning. So I'm lucky to get this in right now. I finally got them settled down. Number 12, we talked about that. Number 13, 440, pretty average par 4. Plays a little bit, just barely under par, but we do see some birdies here. Lots of pars. Par's a great score. 14, 520 yard par 4. Long, right? I mean, that's they play par 5s on tour that are shorter than that, right? So gonna see lots of bogeys here, maybe some doubles. It's gonna be a difficult hole. You're barely gonna see anybody birdie it. They're gonna have to hit a beautiful 200 plus yard shot into the green here to birdie it. Then we come back with a longer par 3, played just a bit over par, and then we kind of get this closing stretch here that 16 is a difficult hole at 450, but still a decently high birdie rate, and then 17 and 18, right? So if you can birdie 16, now you're thinking streak. You're thinking, all right, I'm gonna finish strong here. 17, 18, I can birdie, or birdie eagle, right? And we're coming in, closing up our round, feeling really strong about it. So again, as you can see, there's lots of there's a good variation of hole lengths. Like we said, we're gonna see lots of short approach shots in, and we're gonna see lots of long approach shots in that middle range. Yes, we will have them, but it'll be under average for a tour event. So it's a good test of golf. There's birdies, there's bogeys. I think we'll see lots of colorful cards with circles and squares on them. It won't be surprising to me to see guys make like 5 pars in a round, right? That's not going to be crazy because how many birdies and bogeys they make. All right, this is the important part. All right, this is what I wanted to get to. Scoring this week is going to be crazy, and DraftKings is going to be crazy, right? Typically, when we play an event, I mean, every event we play in except for match play, right? Everybody starts at even. Okay, well, with the FedEx Cup and this being the final, they changed their structure this year. Justin Thomas is going to start at -10, right? All the way down to, as we go down, Cantlay 8, Koepka 7, Reed 6, McIlroy 5, Ram 4, Simpson, Schauffele, Kuchar, Abraham Ancer, -4. And it goes down kind of like that, 3, 2, 1, even. All right. With that, they get starting DK points, right? So Justin Thomas, when we start the event, is going to have 30 DraftKings points. All right. Jason Kokrak, when we start the event, is going to have 3. Okay, because he's starting in, we have 1, 2, 3. He's starting in like 12th place according to the scores, right? So he's going to have 3 points. Okay. That's only for the start of the event. Once it's not like JT keeps those 30 points the entire event. As soon as let's say if we go on the first hole and Patrick Cantlay makes a birdie, Thomas makes a bogey. They're playing together, right? Now they're both at 9. Guess what? They're both in first place. So now they both get 30 DraftKings points. Okay, with the advantage of the scoring and getting those extra DK points. Okay, we have a change in salary. A typical week, we barely see anybody priced over $12,000. All right, this week we go all the way up to 15.5 and all the way down to 5,000 even. Okay, so what they've done is they've made guys like Charles Howell and Lucas Glover. They're starting 10 strokes back. Okay, they are at a pretty big disadvantage. They're 10 strokes back, okay? And a guy like JT who's way in front, they're going to make you pay a premium on him, all right? But I want you to think about this, okay? Obviously, these are set up to win odds, right? Obviously JT's starting out with that 10-stroke lead on the bottom guys and a 2-strokes lead on Cantlay. DK has priced him up significantly. All right. But do you need those guys at even they're at even, they're 10 strokes back. The average winning score here is -10.75. So let's say Louis shoots 10 under, right? Is he going to win? Probably not. Okay. JT might shoot 5 under and win at -15 and Louis finishes 12th. Okay. But think about the points per dollar that you're getting from a guy like Louis if he plays like that, right? So if JT shoots 5 under for the tournament, right, and ends up winning, okay, so he'll get those 30 DK points, which is important, but he's likely not, he could feasibly not be the highest scorer. I really think that, this week we could see for the first time since the Masters that we have the winner not in the optimal DraftKings lineup, all right? I don't think that Louis, Bryson, even the guys at 1 and 2 really have a significant chance to win, right? Just because I think, if Reed shoots 10 under, he's at 16. Rory shoots 10 under, he's at 15. Koepka, he shoots 12, he's at 19, right? I think those guys have the win equity, but these guys at the bottom of the pricing are, I think just as valuable. Actually, probably even more valuable. You got a guy like Sung J M who's always in the top 10 of DK scoring, even if he finishes 25th. Well, this week he's priced at 5,900, right? That's insane. Okay, he could smash value points per dollar, right? He could finish 18th, which I think is probably about kind of where he probably will end up, 15th to 18th or somewhere like that, right? And have way more points than, say, a Brooks Koepka who only shoots 5 under and is at 12, right? So you're going to hear a lot of conversation this week about, those guys at the bottom can't win. I 100% agree with that. They likely cannot win. But only one person wins. How many people do you have in your roster? 6. Okay? You don't need them to win. So my strategy this week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up on guys. Basically, I'm going to likely make a 3x3 is kind of what I'm looking at right now. Okay, I'm going to play 3 guys towards the top that I think that can win. So whether that's Justin Thomas, Patrick Cantlay, Brooks Koepka, Patrick Reed, Rory McIlroy, probably cut it off around. I think that Finau's got a shot, right? We see guys Hideki finished second at 20 or third at 22, right? Or 21, whatever this weekend. Well, after Friday's round, he was 6 strokes back, right? So right now he's 7 strokes back. Could he make that up? 100%, right? Obviously, things have to break, I think, a little bit of these guys' way. So we got to see those guys up front like JT and Patrick Cantlay not go super deep on the first 2 days for these guys kind of in the mid-tier to jump up there. But, I think I'll try to rock, 3 guys in that 4 to 10 under range, right? So kind of, not necessarily cut it off, maybe 3 and over, right? So I can play guys like Scott and Matsuyama and Reed and Koepka and Cantlay and Rory and whoever. And then I'm going to load up at the bottom. All right. You could even do 2 in this, right? So you could go, if you really feel like Cantlay and Thomas are going to be your best plays, you can go Cantlay, Thomas, and then just jam in the 5 and 6K guys, right? But for me, I'm going to kind of try to go 3 and 3, okay? Because I think that these guys at the bottom have a ton of value this week. And what I do also think is that's going to go against the narrative, at least from what I'm seeing on Twitter, right? There's lots of talk about, hey, these guys don't have any win equity, blah, 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 right? Great. That's fine. But I don't care about their win equity. What I care about is the DK points that they're going to score. Okay, so take away those finishing position points, right? Which I think are important. Not as much as like a round 4 showdown, but which this essentially is. This is round 4 showdown for the entire week. But I think they're a little bit important. I think that it's possible that we don't see the winner in the optimal DK lineup if the guys below him score like crazy, which they should, or which they can. I don't know if they necessarily should, but they can. So I think there's just tons of value at the bottom here, and I think it's going to go overlooked because the average DraftKings player is going to say, all right, who can win? Right? So typically, they'll look at a guy that's at $7,000 and, hey, he could win, right? This week, now that guy is 8 strokes back, right? And they're going to go, he can't win. I'm not playing him. So they're going to try to jam in as many guys as they can at the top. So I really think that your best strategy this week is to find 2 or 3 guys at the top and then play 2 or 3, 4 guys at the bottom. Because not only are they going to go overlooked in ownership, but they're going to be just good plays, right? I really think that, sometimes it's as simple as that. I think we overthink these things sometimes, and everybody's going to say, oh, I've got the edge, and oh, I've got the best way to do this. And the reality is just play good golfers, and it's all going to probably work itself out at the end. The DK points are important, but play good guys, and you'll be in good shape. So who is a good guy here? Xander, what I did is I looked back at I think it went back 4 years on our research tab in the for Fanshare Pro members. I wanted to see, all right, who's played well at Eastlake? Okay, so Xander's played here, twice, average DK points of 96. All right, 17 birdies, 9 bogeys, 1 eagle per tournament, kind of his average. Pretty good numbers there for Xander. Rory also crushed this event. Obviously both winners here. Okay, JT done very well here over the years. PC, Paul Casey, who I think had a sneaky, not a sneaky good week, but a solid week last week. And with I think there's going to be a big emphasis on hitting fairways this week. I probably didn't talk about that enough in the course preview part, but with that, those long approach shots being in the fairway is going to be key. Again, we talk about how difficult the rough is, so finding these fairways is key. These are small, slim fairways. They're not like bacon strips, they're not US Open style, but they're not very wide. So hitting fairways is going to be huge. Well, PC, long, super accurate. Love him this week. And obviously he's played here 4 times and done pretty well himself. Adam Scott, another guy like that, who's done well here over the year. Only one in the last 4, but has played here multiple times in the past. Justin Rose, a little bit iffy. It seems like I'm not sure what's going on with his game. His irons have been falling apart. I don't know if that switch to Hanma is really hurting him, but definitely an interesting play. Fleetwood, I think, probably goes under-owned this week, right? DJ, again, another guy that we're not really sure where his game at, but this is a 30-man field, okay? I think ownership is vitally important here. You have to play the ownership game. I'm super excited for our ownership projections to come out, especially with the new format. It's going to be difficult, but I have the utmost belief in our algorithm, in our system, to build accurate ownership projections. So being able to play some of these guys that, so what's DJ's price? DJ is $8,400. He's $7,000 less than JT. Maybe he doesn't win, right? he's going to come in on her own because everybody thinks his game's in the crapper, right? Which it likely is. But we're talking about DJ here, right? $7,000 less than JT. You play guys like that in an event like this where there's 30 people. Anything can happen. So typically, this event in the past has been where you have to, I very rarely have played the Tour Championship on DraftKings. Basically because it's a 30-man event. To win anything in GPP, you basically have to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? You have to nail it, all right? And it's extremely variant. Guys from the 30th place can come up and win, and the studs don't always win. Now that we have this change in pricing, though, and the scoring, I'm super intrigued, right? And I think that it makes guys like DJ very, very intriguing to roster in GPP, especially if they're going to come in at lower ownership. Just because their form hasn't been great. But we know in golf that things can change drastically week to week. So Webb Simpson, another guy who's played pretty well here over the years. All right, so my pick for the winner is Rory McIlroy. I think that he keeps trending. He keeps playing well. He played well again last week, not as well as he would have liked to. But I think that this course really sets up well for him. I think that the chalk donkey this week is going to, and Rory's got work to do. He's 5 strokes back, right? He can make that up on the front 9. So don't get so caught up in, like I said, don't get so caught up in the 30 points to first. Like, that's going to change drastically. I think what's more important is looking at salary, looking at who can score well here, and then looking at ownership. Okay, chalk donkey, Patrick Cantlay. So Patrick Cantlay is 2 strokes behind Justin Thomas and $3,000, right? $3,000 less. So basically what that tells me is, $3,100 less. People are going to flock to him like crazy, right? They're going to see that, he's only 2 strokes back and he's $3,000 less than JT. I'm gonna jump on him. What I think actually is that JT, I mean, this is it's Monday morning, like this could change, significantly, but I think that JT is actually going